Hey, it's Hanf, and we're back with the World Book Training video series, episode 2. This is mainly going to be directed towards the history department. There are a lot of kind of useful, or at least I think it's useful, different things that you could use World Book for, and different ways in which you could use those things. So, from the World Book homepage, remember the high school level reading stuff is the advanced page. I'm also going to talk a little bit about timelines in this video, which I think would be super beneficial, obviously, for the history department. So if we click on advanced, it takes us to a web page. If we wanted to learn about Vesuvius, we could right now, just because it happens to be the background image, and it's different. It has been different every single time I've loaded World Book, so I don't know how many options there are or if it's just completely random, but I think it's kind of handy. So for the history department, at least for current events, if you're talking about current events, this section up here in the headlines is really nifty. It has a whole bunch of different headlines from different newspapers around the United States, and you can just click on any of these and it will take you to the article that it's referencing. And you could kind of, use that as a bell ringer or, kind of a warm-up activity. Super easy and pretty thoughtless for you because you don't have to do too much about it. If you go to research and resources, there are some really cool different things that you could use as the history department. Through educator tools, that's where you can find your curriculum stuff again, like in that previous video. You've got your citation builder that we mentioned in the previous video. Here you have government websites, maps. The My Research tool will allow a student to save the different articles they find, but they have to log in. But the students have to log in, and I'm not certain exactly how they do that. Like, I need to look into that a little bit more and contact our rep and find out more information about that. Pathfinders, excuse me, has some kind of pre-made resources. So if you are doing a project on the Olympics, for example, when they come around the next time, you could click on that and it kind of has stuff already done. So you can kind of find all of these things that are already kind of done for you. You could even have the kids click on at least 3 things and tell me what you learned, or find an article about this specific person, but don't use the search bar. Like, you have to find your way through it. Let me keep going back. Aw, Abe Lincoln. So, timelines, which is also accessible from the super homepage, which I have bookmarked. If you go to timelines, you can make your own, or they have some that are already made. So if you were doing history and say you wanted to talk about a specific person, like the life of, let's find a notable let's find a notable explorer. Okay, let's talk about the Lewis and Clark expedition. So this is a pre-made timeline. You can add your own things, like you could edit and save your own version of this timeline if you wanted. So the kids could add things in or take things out as they please, which I think is kind of spiffy. And you can kind of drag it around and look into it and all that kind of stuff. And then you could save your own version. So if we wanted to create an event, I mean, I don't know, what would we save? Who knows? But you could. There's an option. So if you wanted to have the students research a topic, I mean, I would look into it first and make sure there isn't a pre-made timeline for it. But if you wanted to have them tell you all about, for example, the history of like how Missouri became a state. So you could have them look into it and research it and then use timelines to make their own timeline for those events. And they do have a lot of like historical things that you could have them find a couple of. If you're talking about the Black Death, you could have them kind of have this bookmarked and have them look through it, have them make their own if you wanted to, but if nothing else, they could just kind of keep coming back to this and study this before their test, and it's all kind of planned out for you in chronological order. Now, if we were to search, for example, let's go ahead and go to the Gettysburg Address, since that happened to be here. For some of these historical things, they will have primary resources if we look into it. And I would think this one probably would, which is why I went ahead and picked it. So we've got our general article. We could listen to it if we wanted to. We've got citations at the bottom. Let's see if I can find the primary. So we've got the actual document, we've got a etching or a painting of him delivering it, and we do have primary sources, and we've got links to the actual primary sources, which I think is kind of useful. It would be handy, and we have the actual text of the Gettysburg Address right here. Now, the only thing is you're going to have to pre-research some things if you want them to find specific bits. So, just a quick little overview of some of the stuff the history/current events teachers could be using in their class. If you have any questions, or if you want me to look into any specific topics or anything like that, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.